some hay, alfalfa. So we weren't really planning to get calves in the fall, so I had gotten enough hay to get us through with the goats, but then it just happened that we could get 3 calves, so we ended up getting them, and they're going through a lot more hay than I suspected. So we've been through 4 bales of about 640 pounds, and I got a huge bale, like 1,000 pounds of alfalfa. We went through that really quick, and I'm now on another 640 pound bale of hay. We're about halfway through that. So we are headed to get hay alfalfa this time. I have been giving the calves extra grain and alfalfa, and just to kind of keep their protein up and whatnot, and it's been working out really good. They're doing really well, but instead of buying alfalfa pellets, if I can get hay alfalfa, then I'll just give them that. So that's what we're doing today. We're just headed to a few stores and then to go grab hay. So how are you, Chris?
Doing good.
So yesterday we went and checked a trail camera, and I don't know if I missed it or if I just couldn't get the files to copy over to my phone, and we were blown away by the mountain lions. We've never had 4 on 1 trail cam, let alone 3, and for a couple months. So normally we get 1 mountain lion every now and again. This time we were just shocked to find 4 on each, or on one of the videos, and then 3 traveling several times through that area for the last couple months. So kind of very shocking. Right, Chris, what are your words on mountain lions?
Well, just don't get caught in the mountain lion area without a gun, so you're gonna get eaten.
Yeah. So we have to get a couple things for the house build. It's coming along. Our pipes unthawed enough yesterday morning that we were able to get water into the cabin, which is such a blessing. And then since we got our septic done in November, we don't have to have the water go into a bowl and then have to carry it outside. Now we can just run water and it can just go into the septic. It's like such a blessing. It's been 18 months since we've been in a house where we're able to just let it work. So we can't wait to get the gas propane tank. Once we can get further on the build, we just need to get insulation, do a couple things. We're running the pipe for the to suck the air from the main part where we have the heater,
Like
the wood burning stove.
Basic HVAC system where it's gonna suck air from the roof of the main cabin where the wood stove is, because it gets like 95 degrees in there, higher. I think it was like 99 the other day. Anyways, it can suck air from the roof area where all the hottest air is, and then it's gonna blow it into other parts of the addition that we're building on, so it'll heat the other parts of the addition,
which will be so wonderful. And then we're going to be working on the venting the roof this week, and then hoping to get insulation installed in the next 2 weeks, and then sheetrock and whatnot. And once we can get a bathroom finished, then we will be able to shut down the trailer and just start using the cabin, which will be such a blessing. Like, we can't wait to be in just one building and have the shower and a bathroom, running water, hot water, the washer and dryer, all in one building. It will be so wonderful to not have to go out through in the middle of the night to use the bathroom over in the trailer, to have to go take a shower. So it's awesome. It's coming along, and we're so grateful for Chris's hard work. He's been able to do almost all of it. We had a couple people in our ward branch that were willing to come and help us get the building up, some of the walls and some of the framing and whatnot, which was such a blessing. And then other than that, Chris has done a huge part of the work by himself. Huh, bud?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good killing you?
Well, I mean, it's just hard to find the time after work to do it, or just even the desire some days to even want to get out there and do it after I worked all day. Then to go from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock to work out there and then come put the kids to bed. It's just finding the time to do everything, getting the time on my hands to do it. But
because the trailer still is a little bit of work, so it's not just in the winter time. You can't just leave the gray water flowing out. So we can do 2 loads of laundry washed in the trailer, and then we have to empty the septic, and so then we have to make sure the pipe going into the septic is cleared out, or it will freeze. So that's a bit of work for you, right? And then trying to get water, and then you got to get the hose over to the trailer to fill up the trailer, and then wind that back up and get it back in the pump house, the well house, so that it doesn't freeze also, right?
yeah, there's just a lot of little odds and ends that you have to do when you're in between everything, topping off the trailer, making sure that the propane to the trailer's kept up. Sometimes the water heater to the trailer shuts off, so sometimes you gotta turn that back on and wait for the hot water to heat back up in the trailer. Filling up the 5-gallon jug with water to use in the cabin. So it's just a lot of little odds and ends that hopefully here in the next 4 months or less is all hashed out, and we're just not having to deal with all that stuff anymore. Just makes it easier to deal with it. It'd be nice also to get some water spigots out by the animals, so we're not having to haul water from the pump house down to the animals in 6-gallon jugs. Just little things like that. Run power down by the animals is just little odds and ends that need to get done, just finding the time to do them. But once the cabin's finished, then I can focus on some of the smaller projects and hopefully get some electric fencing ran for the animals and a better location, and kind of expand their area. So everything's kind of on hold until we could get the cabin all wrapped up.
Yeah, so it's been a long 18 months. Well, before that, we were trying to condense from a 4,800 square foot house to basically nothing that would all just fit inside the fifth wheel and an enclosed trailer. So it was quite a bit of work to be able to condense everything down for the move and whatnot. And then getting here, we hauled water for 10 months, and then just trying to get it to where it was more livable and whatnot has been quite a bit of work, but it's been wonderful. Have you enjoyed the journey, Chris?
Well, yeah, I mean, I always wanted to come back here after I served my mission here, and this was kind of my plan to retire here someday when I got older, but luckily it all just kind of panned out, and work allowed me to work remote after the whole COVID thing, and so it just kind of all worked out and made it so that we could get out here sooner than me being retired and finally coming out here in my 50s or 60s. So, I enjoy it out here and kind of test you and see what you're made of, see if you've got what it takes to survive out in harsher climates, and just put up with the different things that you have to go through out in the wilderness like this and whatnot. But I enjoy it. So
Okay, we are at Michael's, and I'm gonna run in and get these little boxes that are great for the seeds. So I need something to organize all my seeds into, and I found online these boxes, and so I think they're on sale for 15 bucks. So I'm gonna go grab a couple because I think I'm gonna use some for the shots and stuff for the animals to organize my needles and whatnot. So we're gonna run in there and we'll be back in a few. So I'm gonna go grab those boxes here. So I just found Photo Keeper 16 case. So I think this is gonna be awesome for my garden seeds and also for my needles. I can write on them what needles used for what. So if we don't have internet or whatnot and I can't research it, then I at least know what needle is used for what animal and what size gauge and everything. So this is awesome. You can always find this man looking at all these. Which one are you eyeing? Oh, what's the specific one?
I have the staccato or whatever I want. But
Where's it at? Oh my word. So this is the one that Chris is eyeing. We stopped the Shields to look for some guns, and I ended up finding us a towable sled to go behind. It's all plastic on the side, so it should hold up pretty well. And we're going to tow it behind the ATV, and I'm going to tow the kids around. Hey all, we finished our trip in the city, and we are headed to get our hay alfalfa, and it's getting dark, but anyways, we have a few minutes, and I just thought I would, well, I have Chris here, we would just talk or whatnot. So discuss kind of what we have going on this week. We are AIing our pigs, our sows. This will be their second litter, and we will receive the AI tomorrow in the mail from Shipley Swine, and the one is ready, so we will get the biggest mama pig AI'd as soon as we get it, and then the other mama pig, the smaller of the two, we will AI probably Thursday. So we'll try to keep that controlled. I think it's like between 64 and 70 or something, temperature controlled, and then we'll AI her on Thursday. The first time we AI'd, I purchased 3 for each one because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I wanted to make sure that I got the timing right. I know the exact timing of both of their heat, their standing heat, and so I know that tomorrow morning the one is in standing heat, so you wait 12 hours and then you give the first dose. So then I believe it's Thursday is when the other mama goes into standing heat, and so then I'll try to give her 2 doses. The first time I was only able to give the smaller pig 1 dose. She's a little bit more uptight, so this is going to be interesting to see what happens. I think she will let me give her a dose if I'm on time on her heat cycle. So I think for sure I'll be able to hopefully get her 1, but hoping to get her at least 2. But luckily I got lucky on the first time, and she took on 1 dose, so I was very happy about that. And then the other mama pig, I gave her a couple doses, and she took 2, so we got lucky there. What I did this time is sometimes it's kind of hard on some of them to find out when their heat and their standing heat is, and so what I did, I had the boar spray from the first time, and so I just kept spraying them when I thought that they were in heat, and then when they stood for me, then I knew, okay, they're in standing heat, because they won't stand for you. They won't, they kind of lock, and they just kind of stand there for 10-15 minutes. So there's quite a big difference in whether or not, I mean, you'll know that if you use boar spray, you'll know when they're in their standing heat. And one of our sows is really great with the kids, and that's kind of how I started to pick up before I had AI'd them the first time. Was one of our kids sat on her, and she just stood there for like ever, And so I was like, oh, that's weird. And then when I started to learn more about the standing heat, I was like, she had to have been in standing heat that day. And when I calculated after a few months, I had been watching every 21 days what would happen when she would come back in. And we got lucky and it all worked out. And we figured out the standing heat cycle and it took. So you can do it without the bore spray. I think that it made it easier this time because one of the sows, it's hard to tell if she's in or not. She's super grumpy. You got to be really careful around her and whatnot. So I felt like that was really helpful to use the bore spray this time. So anyways, so that we have that going on this week. AI and the pigs. We are trying to get the building somewhat insulated, hopefully soon. So we're working on that, and we're going to be working on getting the airflow. What is that?
Ventilation.
Oh, the ventilation. We're going to be working on the ventilation this week. And what else do you have, Chris? We talked about the sucking the air, the heat.
Yeah. I looked, and the little HVAC systems that suck the heat out of the main cabin are delayed, so I don't know when they're going to get here exactly. It just says that it's delayed from Home Depot. So in the meantime, I'll work on wiring up the fans for the bathrooms. I'll work on running the HVAC systems for the bathroom, or not the HVAC system, the ventilation for the bathrooms. So I got to run the power to the fans that suck it out, and then I got to run the piping for the system to actually pull the air out. And then I got to finish venting the dryer, and I got to run a little bit more electrical for some lights in the meat room and the storage room. So then we should be able to insulate everything.
So we have in our extension, we are building a laundry room, 2 bathrooms, a bedroom, and then storage. And in one of the storages rooms, we are going to have a area that has water that's ran to it for processing, because that's a big thing on our homestead, is being able to process our meat at our homestead so that we don't have to haul pigs and other animals somewhere, trying to make it the most convenient that we can and whatnot. So and then what else do we have going on?
Cut more firewood at some point, because we're going through firewood a little bit more. Probably have 2 cords of firewood right now, 1.5, 2 cords. So we're just gonna see how long that lasts. We just got an axe, so we'll get tied chopping up some wood.
Yeah.
Get him wearing his steel toe boots so he doesn't cut his toes off. Yeah, we just need to get some more wood, get it split. Eventually, someday, we'll get a log splitter, make things a little bit easier on us. But right now we're splitting all the wood with a hatchet and a hammer. So the axe will hopefully help speed that process up some. And then eventually, we'll get a log splitter, and we won't have to worry about it so much. But that's one of the things that we're probably going to get going this week, because we're going to probably run out in a week or 2.
While we were in the city, I've been looking for a few months now. I was looking for a tube that I could pull behind the ATV for the kids to play on. Last time we were here, we found a Pelican, something that you could
Pelican sled for pulling behind the snowmobile.
Yeah, so we got one of those, and that was great. The kids had so much fun a few days ago. I need to release that video. It's all ready. They had so much fun out front. 2 kids could fit in it, and then I could just pull them around and they didn't want to stop. They had so much fun. So I found a tube finally at Shields that is meant for snow. It's just like the ones that they have for pulling behind a boat. And so I am stoked to show them that. I didn't know if they actually made them, and I haven't seen any, but I walked in and I just happened to see this one, and so I grabbed that one because there's not a lot to do in our town, and so to get the kids out and sled and just do different snow activities through the winter is super helpful. We don't have like an indoor swimming pool within 2 hours of us, so and like there's not really a lot of kid things to do. The library in town, we do have a bowling alley. Ty goes there once in a while with his friend, but other than that there's not much to do. So we basically stay home a lot and work on the homestead, and it's been great because we can get further ahead on the build. Every second Chris has, we're always trying to get a little bit further on the build so that it can make things a lot easier for us. So, and then it's just a lot of work keeping up with the animals, right, Chris?
Yeah, just get them fed,
Keeping them warm for the winter.
Haul water every morning out to them. So eventually, someday I'd like to use techie side of things that I do and automate some systems for the animals that can automatically water them and maybe automatically feed them in certain aspects where maybe a door can lift up and a certain amount of grain comes out and then shuts, and then I know that they have like chicken doors that open up automatically and close automatically at certain times of the day, and just automate the different tedious things that we do on a daily basis for the animals that really we don't need to be going out there to do if we just get something set up and a process going for that kind of stuff, and then we can use that time that we spend, an hour that we spend in the morning and an hour that we spend in the evening feeding the animals, we can use that time doing something else, whether it's working on another project and getting that stuff done, or spending time with the kids, or whatever it is. It would be more beneficial to just get an automated process in place for a lot of that stuff, so that we're not just spending time doing that.
I think the couple things I can think of would be, one, pig feeders, so that we can have a lot of grain in the pig feeder versus we just have little tubs, and so it's hard because we got to go out twice a day and feed them, whereas if we had those feeders that held 50 pounds or 100 pounds of feed, that would be super helpful. And then also having something for the cows that takes a lot of hay, so that we're not having to use our wheelbarrow and go out 3 times a day to make sure that they have hay, because they're kind of starting to outgrow that one now that they're getting so much bigger. But I think it will come.
Yeah, at some point we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, and it's been super great to have cows. We're so grateful for them, and they've been really great. And we've just tried to make do with what we have. We really need to find a feeder for them. So hopefully soon we can try to find something that we can put the hay in so that it's off the ground, and we'll hold, whatever amount of hay, more than our wheelbarrow. Our wheelbarrow worked up until recently. I feel like they're just going through the hay in it so quick, and if I put too much in it, then it's on the ground and we're just wasting. And if you look at the prices of hay and all that, oh goodness, it is just ridiculous. So crazy. But I think that the farmers have to get that because of the crazy prices on diesel this last summer and everything else. It's just crazy. I wasn't expecting to have to buy so much hay this winter for them. I was thinking I think 1,800 pounds, but we went through that and more already. So obviously 3 calves need a lot of hay. And plus we have the 3 goats, so they're eating it too. And then the pigs, once in a while I throw in some for them, for the mama pigs, because they're getting about 5 to 6 pounds of feed a day and they're still hungry, so I'm giving them some hay or hay alfalfa or whatnot, or some alfalfa, whatever I have on hand to kind of help them out also. And then bedding, I had some straw, ran out of that really quickly. Plus I don't really think they really like it. The mama pigs didn't like the hay.
They don't like the
straw. Yeah, they did not like the straw. They would just root it up in the dirt, and so then it was like, what a waste of money. So I was hoping to get to somewhere where they have sawdust, or like, what is that? Not necessarily sawdust. It's like the more textured.
I mean,
sawdust, I guess.
Well, there's wood chips. And then there's sawdust. It just depends on, or wood shavings.
Oh, wood shavings,
kind of
yes.
Depends on what you're trying to get.
I was hoping to maybe get some wood shavings or whatever for their bedding.
Probably just need to get a wood chipper.
And
just chip it into smaller pieces and then put that in there. And then, like if they, pee in there or something, it
absorbs it better.
Well, it'll absorb it or siphon it through and down the wood chips, and then it'll be under them as opposed to sitting on top of the dirt for a while.
Yeah, that's maybe something that we need to look into right away, to find something that we can use for bedding that's cheaper than using hay and straw. It's not cheap. So yeah, I know that there's some Amish places around that do cut wood and stuff, logs, and so I know they have some you can go pick up for free. We can just throw it in our 1,000-pound bag or whatnot. It's just a matter of driving it's about 40 minutes, 40 minutes. It's just a long drive, so I haven't gotten around to doing it just yet. And then, yeah, over the next little while, we're just working on fencing for the animals. And then over the summer, we're hoping to work on some structures, correct? For like chickens, bigger chicken coop.
Or like a 3-sided barn that could kind of house a lot more animals and get them out of the cold. Maybe come next winter, they'll be able to have a place to kind of go and get away from the cold more than they do right now, because we have like the dog kennel set up for the animals, and that's not really an ideal situation for the long term.
Yes.
So we need to build some kind of a 3-sided full height structure, and then on the front of it we could do like 4-foot high walls. You don't have to go the full height on the front, but something to just kind of be a windbreak for the animals come next winter. Just the electric fencing, the front gate.
Oh yes, and I got the logs hauled out there the other day, so we just need to figure out how to dig the holes for the logs.
Yeah.
But then we'll need that fence ran. We'll have to get a bunch of posts, T-posts, and then the wiring for that. So we're hoping to do that here, hopefully sooner than later, just so that it will help keep our animals over on our own property a little more. So our dogs like to go all over. They like to travel. As you can see, if you watch the mountain lion video, oh my goodness, they were clear up there on the mountain, which I think that, I don't know that that's going to change, other than we've tried this collar that shocks them. So when that's on it, they stay close, but they love to roam. They're Great Pyrenees, and I feel like they're just living their best life being free, but obviously we can't have them going on other people's property. So that's something we're trying to work on. I've tried over time and time trying to like teach them, like, no, you can't go over on that side, but they see deer and they just want to run. So and I can continuously tell them, no, like, don't bark, it's just a deer, but they haven't picked up on it yet. They're still puppies. There'll be one here come April, and hopefully they'll get a little bit better, but yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not. Chris doesn't have high hopes. But we love them so much. Like, as much as they're a pain, and sometimes it's just like not, we just sometimes wish we didn't have to deal with it or whatever. I've always wanted a Great Pyrenees, and I've loved them so much. I wish that they would actually mind and stay around, and I knew that they were like really making sure that animals weren't coming around. I think their barking and stuff has kept animals around, because obviously we've had 4 mountain lions.
It's kept the animals away.
Kept them away. Like, obviously we've had 4 mountain lions like really close. Like, we were thinking, I want to do a measurement on my Onyx app, but we're thinking it's like a third to half a mile away is where we are from the mountain to where we have that trail cam, where we are getting a lot of the mountain lions and bears. So it's not that far.
Well, they walk back on the back pond. That's probably 100 to 150 yards.
That's 0.10, so 1/10 of a mile. I calculated it, and it's 1/10 of a mile, so it's very close, and it's even closer to them because that's from the trailer. So we also have guinea hens, and so I think those help a little bit. They alert and whatnot during the day. They just make so much noise. We need to get some more females this year. We lost some females, and so we have 2 males left of those. And so I really like the guinea hens. I know a lot of people don't like them because they're so loud. They are very loud, but if you watch them as they they'll go in a row and look for ticks and stuff and bugs, and they'll make noises and stuff. It's so fascinating. It's incredible to sit there and watch them in their row, and they're right next to each other, so they're like just going all over the property or whatnot around us, near us, just getting all the ticks. So we only found 2 ticks last year is what we saw. So I felt like it could have been a lot worse.
And they all got on me.
They got on you?
Yeah.
You had 2 ticks on you? One was on the goat.
Oh,
We found one on the goat. Was on you?
Ticks fell on me. Remember, they fell from the tree and
Oh, I thought that was
landed on me.
one. So 3 ticks, I guess. So yeah, one of them we were just sitting out in the open and having a fire, weren't we?
Yeah,
Weren't we
like
burning
that.
a fire or something? And then all of a sudden, like, Chris feels something, and there was a tick on him. So Chris always happens to sadly get the ticks on him. That's how it was when we were looking at properties, and we went to that trailer place, and we were kind of like walking around their property, and you got that tick on you, and we were in the car, and you're like, you grabbed it, and we were like, I think this is a tick. And so we looked it up, and it was definitely a tick. It's crazy. Sorry it's so dark, but we just wanted to, so we found that great find for the kids, and then we also found at Michael's the boxes. I'll show a video at some point of storage boxes for the seeds, to organize all my seeds in. And then also I grabbed one because I'm going to see if I like having all of the needles and all of that kind of stuff for the animals. So try to keep it organized, and I'll label out all the, like, what animals those are good for and at what weight and that kind of thing, just so it's like a go-to, and I don't have to research every time. Okay, like the pig's 300 pounds, what needle, what size, what gauge, and all that we have to use. And it all depends too on what you're giving them, if it's like penicillin or LA 200, I think it is, or 2000. I think it's LA 200. Yeah. And then it's like if you're giving their dewormer, then it's you gotta use different ones or whatever, like for each one, and whether or not it's in the just in the tissue, or if it's into the can't even think, muscle.
Subcutaneous.
Subcutaneous, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or intermuscular.
Oh, intermuscular.
I think is what it is.
Yeah, so hoping to organize all that stuff so that it's just right there, and we can just go to it and have it more readily available quicker. other than that, like, we just wanted to get on, kind of give you an update on what's going on, and yeah, we got lots of projects. Still trying to clean up, log a lot. I'll try to give you an update on that soon. I have a big area that I've been really trying to clean up and focus on, so hoping I can get that cleaned up and burned, because I would like to run the electric fencing, the hot wire over there, and get the cows moved over there if I can, and whatnot. So we have the goat in with them, and he does not do well on electric fencing right now, at least the poly line that we have. So that's been kind of stopping me to letting him out on the hot wire. Is I got to figure out our goat, because he'll just run right through it, and he attacks the boys.
We bought a quarter mile of the, I think it's 14, it's either 17 or 14 gauge, I can't remember what gauge, wire, aluminum wire for the electric fencing to help with that, so that we could do like 1 or 2 strands lower, like one at like 1 foot and the other one at like 18 inches or 24 inches, whatever we decide, that will hopefully keep the goats in. And then the higher up you go, you use the poly line, and then the cows put their nose up to the poly line, and then it kind of shocks them, and so they end up not going over to the line, even with the poly line, just because they'll sniff it first and then get shocked. Whereas the goats, they just walk right into it.
They don't care.
It doesn't
even faze them.
Whatever. So.
And so with the pigs too.
Yeah.
They'll jump
so
on
having
it.
the full-on 14 gauge or 17 gauge or whatever it ended up being that we bought wire will hopefully create that, hard barrier where they won't be able to penetrate it.
Yeah, so that's a big project that we are working on this year, is getting them out on that electrical fencing and hot wire, the pigs and all. Like, I'm really hoping to have a good pasture area for the pigs this year, so that I can get those mama sows out roaming. So the babies, they are not wild pigs. They are my pets, but like they are for meat. There's one of the babies that I am going to hold back and keep for littering out, and then the other 2 we will process. But they are not wild. They are part of our livestock, and I know that people like think that maybe they're wild or whatnot. They definitely are not, and they stay right near us. They've been so great, but we didn't have the great fencing areas that we needed, and so that's kind of why we let them out to roam. And then they're so great. Like, we just put some feed in their cage at night, and they go in, and then in the morning I let them out, and it's worked out really well. Like, I think we have them trained. The 4 we had trained really well. This one gilt, she has been with her mom and the other 2 sows, and she just needs to go back in at night. She'll come out with them during the day, but at night, for some reason, she just really likes to be with the sows. So there's kind of a little opening in the fence that she squeezes through. I don't know how much longer she'll be able to squeeze through, but she likes to do that. So for some reason, she just kind of has done her own thing, and she goes back in with the sows. But the other, we just have the 2 gilts that are still in the dog kennel at night, and then we let them out, and then we have 1 boar left, and he is over in the garden area for now. I think we'll have him another month, and then he will go to his home, and he will be a breeder boar. So we're very excited about that we can go and see him. We found him a great home, and we're very excited that we'll be able to go over and see him, whatnot, when we go pick up feed. Because he's been great. He has been so wonderful, and every time we go out there, we just love him so much. And he's been a great little boar from the very beginning. He just or pig or whatever, he just comes to us, and we've just loved him so much. From the beginning, we could call him Square Nose, and he actually has like kind of more of a rectangle nose, like little black spot on his nose. He's so cute. But since I'm beginning. We just kind of called him Square Nose. That's just kind of been his name, and I think they're going to keep it too because, oh, he's just so sweet. But anyway, so we'll just have him one more month, and then he'll be gone, and then we'll just have the 3 gilts and the 2 sows. I am looking for 2 Berkshire pigs right now, 2 gilts. I think I might have found them, so I may be traveling to go pick up them soon. So we're excited about that. Right, Chris?
Yep.
Chris just loves, he's always so great to support me and my crazy ideas and all the crazy things that I get us into.
Yep.
He just tries to support me and move forward, huh? Because maybe we should have waited on some of these till our home build was done. That's been, I think, made it the roughest. Is I've moved forward on our farming and been trying to build, and it's kind of been a little crazy, but we're somehow doing it, huh? So anyways, just want to give you an update, and can't wait to show you how far we've come along on the logging and whatnot. So I hope you all are doing well. Picking up our hay alfalfa.
Okay.
All right, here we go.